No, it's afternoon. See, I already messed this video up. Oh well. Hello everybody, it's Kristina Dennis, Transformational Self-Empowerment Master. I'm going to turn off my alarm. And I am here for a Mindful Monday little chat. I'm finding these Mondays kind of interesting because I get done with the weekend, and I'm wondering if other people feel this way too, where you get done with the weekend and then you have all of this, trying to let go of whatever happened over the weekend, and then you move into what you're maybe supposed to do during the week. And it's kind of like a complete shift, at least for this girl it is. Let me see if the light's kind of, oh, there it is. There's some light. And so I spent the morning kind of sitting in reflection. I worked with a few ladies this morning, and that was fabulous. And what I want to talk about today is being mindful of our feelings and our thoughts and acknowledging them. And a lot of times I talk about the fact that you can't hold two thoughts at one time. And I believe that's absolutely the truth, because a lot of us will get stuck in old thoughts from the day before. We, think about 65 to 70,000 thoughts a day, and only about 5% of them are original thoughts. So it goes to show that what was will be again. And if you have been in trauma or in a place of emotional turmoil or in a grief state, or just had negative old belief patterns that have kind of stuck around a lot longer than anybody would want them to, it's incredibly difficult to stop the brain from going there. And that's why I work with people, and we do, a really kind of fabulous kickstart into how to change our thought patterns and our belief systems. And I was working with a person today, and we started talking about that little old voice in her head. And in this particular case, it wanted to kind of send, she had a reaction from hanging out with somebody that she had had kind of a dramatic relationship with in the past. And I, started talking about some of the times when I have reactions. And anytime I'm having a reaction that does not feel logical, where I want to say to myself, oh, you're being overreactive, you're being dramatic, stop that. I know that that's generally, because I don't have those kind of patterns built in anymore, that is a leftover feeling from probably multiple encounters in the past. And by me shaming myself for trying to shh that voice, it's like me telling whoever that person is, and to me it's the little person that is inside of this very grown-up woman who is very capable, feeling like I need to keep shooting off flares, like pay attention, danger. If I don't acknowledge that little voice, then I am betraying myself, even if it's just a thank you for getting my attention and allow me to take a moment to figure out what I need. And in this particular case, it was just an acknowledgement that I was, that this person was having feelings about the way that this person, her friend had treated her prior, and to be on alert. And I thought, rather than us try to get rid of those warnings and those feelings, it would be so nice that my first thought for myself, when I have that little flare gun go off, is to acknowledge it and take that minute to heed what may be being said to me, what I need to acknowledge is happening. And then it won't need to be shouting and screaming as much the rest of the day, like a child that can't express themselves. And, I watch this all the time when parents are dealing with their children, and what I had to learn when I was dealing with my Billy, who couldn't use words to express himself and still can't, was to pay attention to the signs and pay attention to the physicality of myself, pay attention to what was going on in his body, and know the principles of taking care of myself. And I never get anywhere faster by telling myself I'm being illogical or that how I'm feeling is not appropriate. And I don't think anybody really does. Not make a lasting change. Hi, Laura. How are you, sweetie? You know, those lasting changes happen when we embrace everything that is happening in our life, not judge it, and move through it. And that is how I've been able to walk through some horrific experiences as a child and still manage to have some pretty important relationships that are built on intimacy and vulnerability. But I never can do it if I'm beating myself up or telling myself that what I feel is not appropriate. Expressing it sometimes is not appropriate in certain areas. Expressing it with unsafe people is not taking care of myself. But so often, no matter what I'm feeling, I can take a few minutes and sit back and say, okay, what have I done in the last 3 or 4 days to strengthen my resolve, to make me feel comfortable, to work on my emotional state, my physicality? How have I got myself in the peak state of mind and body to operate in this world and move forward on the things that I want to move forward on? How can I be of service if I am depleted? And since I don't have a lot of current situations that create a lot of drama, I generally know, okay, these are leftover feelings that I need to feel. I learned this very, very largely in Hold to My Son, because it was really difficult to hold space with some of the ugly feelings that come up whenever your child is not going to have the kind of life that you thought they would have, or things aren't turning out the way that you thought they would be. It's so easy for people to say, oh, but look at this, oh, but look at that, and not want to sit with that ugliness or that regret or sadness. And you know, people are going to always do that when they aren't or don't have the capacity to understand from my viewpoint or from maybe your viewpoint. If you're sharing and you're being told that you need to look at something, you know, differently. But I cannot do that to myself by paying attention to what's happening. And I can take care of my feelings and look at those as a friend and a warning and something to slow down and pay attention to and acknowledge. And so I wanted to put that out there and have you think about your day. And of course, we all want to have input that's positive and grateful. But if you have a little voice kind of, you know, maybe prickling up and it doesn't seem to make sense, pay attention, follow it to its source, and love on yourself, because you're going to get what you really want, which is a happy, joyful life, that way, not by pushing yourself beyond your limits and ignoring all those feelings. So I wanted to be gentle with myself, and I want you to be gentle with yourself, and I love you all. And I will come in here next week. I'm still working on the 21-day Learn to Love Your Life challenge, and I'm very excited about rolling that out in November. And I'll be sure to bring that information to everyone as it comes together. All right, take care and have a great Monday and a great week.